It's been a while since I've posted an actual video on here, something that isn't a short. I am working on a full length video right now for my million step month, but just kind of wanted to give a bit of an update. So I'm walking a million steps here in April, but I'm learning a lot about what I want to do and about my time and about the value of time that I have. But I'm also learning to really focus on rebuilding my attention span and just doing things that I want to do. I think that that's the most important part. I think that I reached a point where every single day was dictated by something outside of myself, and my days were just kind of spent doing something that I wasn't really too into. And it's good to do those things. I think that stepping out and doing things that you don't want to do is a good thing. I think you have to do that. Um, but when you do that every week straight for months on end, it just kind of builds up into something that you just get really tired of it. And not to mention, now you're going through the motions at work and you're going through the motions on the regular and you're just kind of playing on your phone and not really being present has been a big issue of mine. So, one thing that I've really focused on and correcting this year is slowing things down. Life doesn't ever slow down, but it's the decisions that you make that really change the way your days go. So, whereas drinking with my friends and having a good time was something that was in abundance back in, let's say, even like a year ago. And 2 years ago, it was pretty much consistent every single weekend, was pretty much the same thing. I love those moments and I love my friends and I love my family. Um, but it was just in abundance. It was all the time, it was everything. And it stayed that way. My time was just spent doing things that were for other people, and it was spent doing things that were pleasing other people, that were being present in moments that I didn't want to be present in, and I wasn't the best version of myself. And so this year I've really focused on being the best version of myself. And it's ironic that I say that because my hair is an absolute mess right now, but you know what? The thought came to me and it hit me right here as I'm sitting down, just taking a moment to myself, reflecting on just a beautiful day. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I'm taking a break from walking for the moment, and I'm about to get out for another hour and a half here in like 20, 30 minutes. So I'm just reflecting heavy, and I'm journaling a lot. I'm spending time writing short stories that I want to write, and I'm playing video games that I want to play. I'm breaking out my instruments from the closet that they've been hidden in for the last year since we've moved here to this apartment. And I'm setting them out in the open in our office so that way I can sit in the chair and play with them rather than get on my phone and scroll on Instagram, which is just so much easier to do. Um, but I want to be able to challenge myself every day, but in different things that I enjoy doing. I love music. I love reading, so I think challenging myself with a more complex book. I'm reading a Warhammer book. It's the series of the um, Night Shadows, or I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's the Soul Hunters, is what it's called, and it's good because it's challenging my like the fantasy portion of my brain, whereas I'm so used to Lord of the Rings and things like that. Breaking into a whole new like deep dive into what Warhammer is has been a lot of fun. And so when I play Warhammer with my cousin on Xbox, it's fun to kind of understand what I'm doing or understand like what the characters or the lore is about. So I've really been more present in that, which is awesome. So shout out to my cousin for putting me onto Warhammer. But all in all, the whole point of this is I'm reading books that I want to read, whether they're hard or whether they're a lot of pages. I'm just reading them because I'm interested. I'm reading them because I love it. I'm reading right now like 5 different books at one time. I'm reading the complete Musashi, which is awesome. I'm reading Between Two Fires, so that one was one that I just put up. In the million month video, you'll see that. But I'm also reading a few others that are out of my reach, but I just finished Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and I did that while I was walking, while I was, complaining about walking because I was tired and my legs were heavy, and it was 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I had pushed my steps off until the evening, and kind of just was sitting there pissed that I had to walk for another hour. Um, but life is really slowing down, and I think that it's really important that life slows down. I think the reason why I make a channel is because it allows me to see the difference and the change that I've had over the course of a year. But it's also not a channel that I'm sitting here making in hopes of being some kind of a flashy content creator, or like a really quick, you know, sit down and not really digest what I'm talking about. That's kind of why I don't have any music, or why I don't have anything in my background. And I've gotten a lot of feedback about how my videos are boring. I understand that. There are people that enjoy my videos, and there are people that don't. And there's always going to be people that enjoy them and people that don't enjoy them. You got to take what they say, and you can listen to it and use their feedback to kind of better what you're doing. But all in all, this channel is not about being a content creator channel where I'm just filling your head full of a bunch of bullshit, just to kind of easily digest. It's challenging. This channel is made so I can challenge myself, so I could really deep dive into myself. But it's a public space to do it. Mainly because I was scared to do that. I was scared to look at myself deeply. I was scared to reflect. I was scared to, what would other people think about me? But the more I've been posting on YouTube, the more I've been posting on TikTok, the more I realize I just don't give a shit. I don't care what people think about me. People will like me, people will not like me. It is whatever it may be. But I'm also here just to inspire people and let them know, I started my health journey when I was 350 pounds, and I'm 315 pounds now. And that's happened over the course of a few years. You can't be perfect all the time, but you always have to be growing in the right direction. I'm going to the doctor, I'm seeing things, and I'm seeing things about my health that I would have been scared to go and see the doctor for. So, you know, fucking things like high blood pressure or sleep apnea, those are things that I have to deal with as a consequence of my own actions. And I'm fixing them. And I'm doing everything I can to fix those. And so being able to do long form videos like this, where I can just kind of talk off the top of my head, was the biggest reason why I started this channel. And if you stick with it until the end, and you stick with it until the end of this video, I hope that you realize that being able to just do something is better than just wishing you could do it and thinking I can get to it one day. You got to stop putting it off. You got to just do it. And you're going to be so much more content with everything. Your life will slow down significantly. Life with my wife has never been in a more positive state than it has been, and we've been going through a lot of shit. Life is not easy. It's not easy for anybody. And when you're given those challenges, you have to have somebody with you that you can trust and somebody you can depend on. And there's just something, the connection that we have, we are going through things that are some of the most difficult times in both of our lives. Yet we are, at the end of the day, looking at each other and facing each other and thinking that these are also, although challenging, these are also some of the best days of our life, because we get to grow together and we get to go through these things together. And it's ultimately brought us closer. I've never been closer with my wife than I have now, and I'm sure that it's just going to keep going. But we're very transparent. We're very open about how we feel and how we talk, and we've just been in a great spot. And a lot of that is because life is just moving so fast, we had to find a way to slow it down. And I chatted your ear off almost 10 minutes just off the rip. But that's why this channel exists. This is why it's here. It's something that I'm openly talking to people about because I'm uncomfortable doing that. But I'm also here to help win the battle for your attention span. And I'm helping you just gain an insight into a stranger that you don't know, that ultimately you might have more relations with me than you think. And that's with other people. I mean, I'm sure that I relate to a lot of you who watch my videos, or a lot of you who stumble upon this. I'm sure I relate to you in a lot of different ways. Just because we aren't the same person doesn't mean that I don't understand who people are. And or it doesn't mean that I don't want to understand who people are. If I don't understand somebody, I want to know what they're all about. So that's why I like to talk to strangers. That's why I like to talk to the internet, just because I can, and I will, and I don't really give a shit about how people perceive me or talk about me. Um, or one thing that I really do think is amazing is the support that strangers give. The amount of support that I've gotten from people I've never even met or spoken to once in my life is really eye opening, to the people that you know your whole life, people that you grew up with, people that you grew up around, or people that have been around your life your whole life. There are people on the internet that are supporting you harder than people that actually know who you are. So take the chance, take the leap, do something that frightens you, do something that is intimidating for you, do something that is challenging, do something that is hard. That's why I do these walking challenges too, is because they're hard, and they kick my ass, and that's why I love it. Is because I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow, and the next day and the next day until I hit my goal. And this year I'm shooting for more steps than I did last year. So I'm very fortunate to be in this position. I'm very fortunate to have the ability to speak to strangers, to have the ability to make a channel, but also just to kind of talk. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I look for. But I love you guys. I will let you go now, and I will see you in the next.